The West Memphis Three case is a notorious criminal case that unfolded in West Memphis, Arkansas in 1993. The case involved the brutal murders of 3 young boys and the subsequent arrest and conviction of 3 teenagers, Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly Jr. The case garnered significant attention and controversy due to the nature of the crimes, allegations of a satanic cult, and concerns about the fairness of the investigation and trial. On May 5th, 1993, 3 8-year-old boys, Steve Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers, went missing. Their bodies were discovered the following day in a drainage ditch in Robin Hood Hills, a wooded area near their neighborhood. The victims had been brutally beaten, bound, and mutilated, leading investigators to believe that the murders were particularly heinous. The investigation initially focused on a rumor circulating in the community about the presence of a satanic cult. The attention turned toward Damien Echols, an 18-year-old with a reputation for being interested in the occult. Echols, along with his friends Jason Baldwin and Jesse Miskelly Jr., were identified as potential suspects due to their social outcast status and unconventional interests. Jesse Miskelly Jr., who had a low IQ and was interrogated for hours without an attorney present, confessed to his involvement in the crime. His confession implicated Damien Echols and Jason Baldwin as his accomplices. The prosecution used this confession, along with alleged satanic ties, as the basis for their case. During the trial, the prosecution presented circumstantial evidence, including the testimony of witnesses who claimed Echols had made incriminating statements. They also relied on expert witnesses who linked the crime scene to satanic rituals, despite the lack of concrete evidence supporting these claims. Damien Echols, who had a reputation as an outsider and was seen as the ringleader, was considered the primary target of the prosecution. He was sentenced to death. Jason Baldwin, who was seen as Echols' follower, received a life sentence without parole. Jesse Miskelly Jr. was also sentenced to life in prison. The case received national attention, in part due to the 1996 documentary film Paradise Lost: The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills, that explored the flaws in the investigation and raised questions about the convictions. Over the years, doubts emerged regarding the reliability of the evidence and the credibility of witnesses. Many believed that the West Memphis Three had been wrongfully convicted and that the investigation had been marred by coerced confessions, mishandled evidence, and tunnel vision. Efforts to overturn the convictions gained momentum with the involvement of high-profile advocates, including celebrities and legal experts. In 2010, new DNA evidence was presented that did not match any of the defendants or the victims, further casting doubt on their guilt. In 2011, the West Memphis Three reached a plea agreement known as the Alford plea, which allowed them to maintain their innocence while acknowledging that the prosecution had enough evidence to potentially convict them. Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly Jr. were released from prison after spending over 18 years behind bars. The West Memphis Three case remains a controversial example of a miscarriage of justice, raising concerns about coerced confessions, flawed investigations, and the role of public opinion in influencing legal proceedings. The case continues to be the subject of documentaries, books, and public debate about the flaws in the criminal justice system.
In an isolated system, entropy can only increase. In an isolated system,